Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our reflection continues with Rag Sorat Kabir Ji, composition of Bhagat Kabir, and the recitation. Jab Jariai tab Hoi Bhasam, tan rahe kiram dal khai, काची गागर नीर परत है या तन की यह बड़ाई. जब जरिए, when burnt, तब होए पसम, it turns to ash. तन रहे, when the body is buried, रहे, it stays. किरम दल खाई, a host of worms consumes it. काची गागर नीर परत है, when water is poured into an unbaked clay pitcher, it collapses and the water pours out. Ya tangi hai badai, such is the nature of this body. So Kabir Ji is using some very stark images here of ash, worms, and an unbaked clay pot to essentially puncture our pride in the body identification. You burn it, it's nothing but ash. You bury it, worms feast on it and try to hold anything lasting in it, and it is an unfired pitcher. So the metaphor here is that the moment water, metaphor for life, joy, knowledge, is poured in, it leaks out because it has not been fired up. So it needs firing, stabilizing of the mind. काहे भया फिर तो फूलिया फूलिया, जब 10 मास उर्द मुख रहता, 100 दिन कैसे भूलिया रहाओ. काहे भया फिर तो फूलिया फूलिया, why strut about, puffed up with pride? जब 10 मास उर्द मुख रहता, for 10 months you lay inverted in the womb. 100 दिन कैसे भूलिया, how could you have forgotten those days? So Kabir Ji is now pricking the amnesia that comes with pride, because pride is in fact forgetfulness. So it's pricking us. Puffed up swagger, phir to phulaya phulaya. So what he does is he reminds us, he gives us a dose of memory, medicine for pride. He reminds us, he says, remember, you were upside down, you were dependent, helpless in the womb, yet you were nurtured and protected. How could you have possibly forgotten that? He reminds us so that it deflates the ego. And that is the kind of womb posture that is needed into adult life as well. One that is receptive, that is teachable, and that is sustained by something larger. जो मधुमाखी त्यों सठोरे रस जोर जोर धन किया, मरती बार लेहो लेहो करिए, भूत रहन क्यों दिया. जो मधुमाखी, like bees hoarding honey, त्यों सठोर रस जोर जोर धन किया, the foolish one or the crafty one squeezes out sweetness, amasses wealth by force and grasping. Marti bar, but at the dying hour, leho leho kare, the people around him cry out, take him away. Leho leho karta hai. Bhoot rahan kyun daya? As a matter of fact, why let the ghost spirit remain here, they ask. This is quite shocking. The sweetness of hoarding and the speed of expulsion. So we spend years extracting quote unquote honey from others, time, labor, attention. We spend years stacking wealth through pressure, through cleverness, through craftiness, and then in one breath, those same hands that help us gather hurry us out of the house. The hoard that we gathered proves useless, and even our presence in the house becomes a problem to be solved. Dehuri lo bhari nar sang bhai, आगे सजन सुहेला, मरघट लो सब लोग कुटुंब भयो, आगे हंस अकेला. Dehuri lo bhari nar sang. Dehuri, the body, is accompanied by the dear wife up to the threshold. And beyond that, Age Sajan Suhela, it is your friends who take you. This is custom, that typically the widow does not go all the way up to the cremation. And then in the cremation ground, Marghatalo Sab Log Kutumb, friends and family gather. And beyond that, Age Hanse Akela, the soul swan, the soul, the spirit goes alone. So here, Kabirji is mapping out the limits of companionship. There are 3 concentric circles: spouse, friends, family, and each circle reaches its own boundary. To the threshold, the doorway, to the road's edge, to the cremation ground. And after that, the Hans, symbol of discernment, wisdom, can proceed. So the teaching here is non-clinging. Cherish people while you can, but train the faculty that crosses the last threshold, awareness of Naam. Kahat Kabir suno re prani, pare kal gras kuwa, jhoothi maya aap bandaya, jo nalani Parmesua. Kahat Kabir, says Kabir, Suno re prani, listen to me, you mortal prani, one that breathes. Pare kal ghras kuwa, you have fallen into the devouring pit of death. It devours everyone. Jhoothi maya aap bandhaya, you are responsible for having allowed yourself to be entangled in maya. And he gives us the example of the parrot that is deceived into the trap by the bird catcher, Nalani Brahmasua. So, death is not just an event, but a devouring well that you slide into while living. Your habits, your fears, your anxieties, your cravings are, in fact, a devouring well. We tie the knot with Maya in the sense that we tie the knot of misperception. We perceive the body to be real and permanent, and we spin stories around it. And the image of a parrot duped by the fowler's reed, that hollow whistle, that's delusion. And the bird flies into the net. That is how pride, greed, and identity posturing lures us. That is how we are caught. So the whole Sabad converges to say, wake up before the well. Notice what your personal calls are. praise, control? What is it? What is it that draws you? And that, pay attention. Retrain your attention, Nam, and undo the self-binding that we practice every day. And always keep the well in view. So the trap is not out there, but the tune is in here. So the moment you stop flying to the wrong song and turn your ear to Nam, that's what needs to happen. So Maya binds us through misdirected attention. We have to change the paradigm through which we look at the world. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.